Hello everyone, this is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today our guest is Joey Hart, who will be fighting Benjamin Bennett on Contender Series September 17th. Hello Joey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Joey, if you can tell me when did you find out about this opportunity?
Yeah, I found out it's been like 2 months now, I think. I found out at around like the 10-week point. So yeah, about 2 months ago.
And did you know that he will be your opponent?
Yeah. When I got the call for Contender Series, I knew right away who it was gonna be.
And are you happy that he's your opponent, because he's also a 6-1 fighter. I believe he's also quite experienced as the amateur, but as the pro he has like similar experience to you.
Yeah, I think amateurs were both similar too. You know, most guys I had 13 amateur fights. Most guys don't have that many, but he's had even more. So yeah, real similar experience. And I was happy with the matchup.
And I think that with your style, you probably will be looking for knockout like you do in all of your fights.
Of course, yep, definitely.
And you lately you fought in June in LFA, and how sweet was the knee that you hit your opponent?
No, it was great. Couldn't really ask for a better result than that. You know, it was like a minute and a half into the first round, so over a tough opponent who was on a good win streak, a good knockout streak himself. Yeah, it was awesome.
And overall, you're very good, like super high level striker, and you can do it all in the stand up department. But what is your favorite like technique in the like striking?
My favorite striking technique.
Yes.
Dang, that's a tough one. It's hard to pick just one. Because I love all the Muay Thai, like the knees, the elbows, but I love boxing too. So, like a good uppercut to the body, a good left hook to the body. Damn, if I gotta just go one technique, I'll say flying knee.
And actually in your fights we can see like as defense that you can do it all. It can be like a head kick, it can be one punch like a sniper, like it can be knee. So as the striker, you definitely can do it all. And I think that because of this, your opponents who are even like also like strikers, they may think about taking you down because they can be afraid that one punch, one knee, and it can be over.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think guys, a lot of guys, it's rare for me to go into a fight and not have guys trying to take me down. You know, I've gotten pretty used to that.
And that's your like right now preparation for this fight. Is there any difference between this preparation and preparation for the like your previous bouts?
Um, Not a lot of differences, but a few things here and there. Like working more boxing. And what else? More specific sparring rounds. You know, that kind of catered towards this opponent specifically. But not changing a whole lot.
Do you feel any like additional pressure that you know that one fight, one knockout or one good performance, and you can be a like UFC fighter?
Oh yeah. So it's a lot of pressure for sure. I mean, it's the biggest opportunity I've been given this far, and I feel like pressure. I feel like my last fight was a lot of pressure. You know, being out of state, being on Fight Pass, all that. So I feel like the pressure just elevates me though.
But with your style, it is so good for defense, and for sure for Dana White too. That when if you will win this fight, we like you can be sure that you will get a contract, because the like you are finishing everybody and you are doing this like in the beautiful way. If you win this fight, you will get the contract. I think that is quite simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Contender Series format is made for fighters like myself. guys who like to put on highlight reel performances. I feel like, yeah, there's no way I win and don't get a contract. I feel like.
Yes, yes, definitely. And what I think that it's quite crazy in your story that June last year you lost a fight and you were at that point 2-1, and 15 months later you are fighting. You won 4 fights in the row. Right now you are one fight, one win away from the UFC contract. But at June, when you lost the fight, did you feel that maybe it will be a little bit longer to get to the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, when like so putting myself in that headspace, I didn't when I was sitting there last June coming off that loss, I didn't necessarily know that I would be uh in the UFC in a year from then, or an opportunity in front of me to get into the UFC a year from then. But I always knew I was of the level. Like I always knew where I was headed. I didn't know, when I first started, I thought it would take me less time when I started back in 2017, but through all the ups and downs and the lessons learned, I feel like yeah, I've been ready for this position. But like to answer that question, yeah, no, it was sitting there coming off my first pro loss. It is hard to imagine like just a year later I'd be where I am, but I think that just comes off of the hard work.
And also, I think that activity is super important, and you were super active because you. It's not that you in 1 year you fought 1 time, but you fought 4 times against good opposition. You knocked them out, all of your opponents. So it's definitely the things that everybody really like.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
And for now, how much of the weight do you need to cut?
Oh, for me, the weight is pretty good right now. I'm sitting around 180 pounds, and I compete at 170. So just I'm like 10 pounds over now. I've never been, even though I'm taller and whatever, got like wide shoulders. I'm not the biggest welterweight. Like I think a lot of guys cut more weight than me, but I think for this fight, for this matchup, I didn't want to be brought down and drained from a huge weight cut.
So it's also, I think, that quite crazy because you are, like you said, you are a really tall fighter. So in the like theory, you could fight in the middleweight or even light heavyweight division, and it means that you with the like 10 pounds to cut, it's almost nothing.
Yeah.
And you are, of course, the knockout artist in MMA, but did you have any like previous background or previous fights in any other combat sport, like pro or even amateur?
No, before MMA, I didn't. I like was boxing, but not like competing really. Just Golden Gloves boxing at Wilmer. I was training in, and then a little jujitsu. I guess I did like a couple jujitsu tournaments, but nothing crazy, you know.
So it also is quite interesting because with your like knockout abilities, like many people can think that you are like kickboxing champion or Muay Thai champion, and here it's just in like realm of MMA.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that makes me unique. I think it like for me because I'm really just a MMA fighter, or I'm basically like a Muay Thai fighter in small gloves, because I haven't shot a takedown yet, but at the same time I'm learning. It's like I have came up and through all my 13 amateur fights and 7 pro fights, like fighting guys who are trying to take me down, or at least that's a threat. So my striking has always been, I've never like these kickboxers who become really good at it and then have to learn how to translate it to MMA. I've never had to make that transition. I've only learned what works in MMA.
And how comfortable do you feel about your like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, maybe fighting from the back? Because in your fights it's like hard to see because you are knocking everybody out. But in the training, how do you feel about this aspect?
No, I feel really good about my grappling. I feel like I don't offensively wrestle in most of my fights just because it doesn't I don't know, it's not what I think looks good. It's not that it can't be entertaining. I think there's a lot of entertaining grappling based fighters, but it's just not my style. It's just not, I don't know. Uh not what I like to do, but I do in the gym. Like I take guys down all the time. Like I feel like my grappling is at high level. You know, I roll with black belts. I roll with high level wrestlers. I roll with whoever I can, and I do well. And I think it's definitely something I could show in the future with the right matchup.
Yes, and when you decide to take someone down, definitely it will be a surprising thing. So it might be a very good like plan B.
Yeah, for sure. It's always there.
And if you can tell me more about your current gym and your current coach teammates that you are right now training with.
Yeah, of course. So I'm at Start BJJ out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. My coach Brock Larson. Just helped me along the way, like since I first started. And introduced me to Brock also. But so those are my two main coaches. And then training partners. Oh, and also my coach Jesse, who I've started working with for boxing, who's really been helping me getting things tightened up. As far as teammates, I got a lot of guys right now are in camp or just competed. So like we had the other week Jesse, we had Derek, we had Augustine, and um, up until their fights, we were grinding together for the last like 2 months, getting them ready. They just fought, and now I'm in there with like Denzel, who's fighting a week after me. You got Cody Milhausen, who's fighting the same week as me. Josh Holtz, who's really good and coming out. What is it? A week or two after me fighting. So yeah, it's been a really good room, really competitive room with a lot of guys who are getting ready to compete. Oh, Santos as well, who's getting ready to compete. Yeah, no, it's been great.
And I think that right now, like MMA in Minnesota is quite rising. That there are like a few very good prospects who can be like really good fighters, and also the like high level UFC fighters.
Yeah.
And if you can, because you are like super close to be a officially UFC fighter, but if you get a contract, do you have a like any name in mind that you would like to face in your first fight?
Dang, that's a tough one. There's a lot of guys. I have my name on, I mean, I have my eyes on everyone really like that is in my division and just in general. I'm a big fan, so I'm watching most of these cards, even the ones with not a lot of like popular names. But I mean, it's right now I'm just focused on Benjamin Bennett. After I get into the UFC, there's plenty of guys like let me think. Brian Battle, he's a guy who would be cool. He won the Ultimate Fighter. I think last year or 2 years ago or something. Uh, yeah, there's Brian Battle. I mean, there's like Chaos Williams. There's all sorts of dudes. Mike Malott. Yeah, plenty of guys for me to fight.
Yes, definitely very good names, and like I think that like Chaos Williams got like two really quick knockouts in the UFC, like under 20 or 30 seconds. So it could be a like very quick but very interesting battle for the time it would last.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'd be a great fight.
And overall, who is your like favorite fighter to watch? Do you have a like one name?
Um, Dang, that's tough. Well, I think before Anderson Silva was definitely my favorite, like hands down my favorite. But if you're talking about like active guys who are competing today, um, damn, that's tough. I really like Corey Sandhagen, O'Malley's good. Let me think. Leon Edwards, even though he just lost, I'm a big fan. Shavkat as well. Yeah, no, there's just a lot of guys coming up that are exciting now.
And about Anderson Silva, he got this style that he creates so many great moments, like Vitor Belfort knockout or like Forrest Griffin knockout. And I think that with your style, you can also create this kind of moments. The like spectacular knockouts who the many fans who talk for like 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I got into it is just to create, spectacular fights. And I mean, that's literally what made me start, was just seeing things that I didn't think were possible be done, and I'm like, well, if someone could do it, I might as well try as well.
And outside of MMA, because of course right now you're like super focused or on the fight, on your like main goal, but outside of fighting, do you have any like additional hobby or passion, anything not connected with combat sports?
Outside of fighting, not related to fighting. I mean, I'm a big gamer. I really like video games. I read a lot. Um, Skateboard here and there, a little bit, longboard here and there. Don't Not too much. I'm always so busy between work and training that, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hobbies, but definitely gaming's nice because, you know, it's something you can pick up and put down like during camp. It doesn't like, you're not out, you're not spending money, you're not up late. It kind of keeps you, it's easy to do in between everything else, you know.
And in the day of the fight, do you also like to play at like in any kind of game?
Yeah, for the most part, I won't bring my PS5 on the road with me just because it's too much trouble. But I'll bring the Switch. We'll set up like some Super Smash Bros. Or I'll just be playing whatever. I'll be playing like some Skyrim on my Switch, some Pokemon, just to pass the time.
And it's probably very good because like reading a book can be tough because the like thoughts about the fight will go to your head, and like gaming is probably a little bit better at this moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think game for me, gaming's a little more like escapism, like something just to put your mind on. Because I've studied this opponent like through and through. I feel like at a certain point, you don't want to overdo it. Like there's no reason to just sit there stewing about your opponent. You know what I mean? You've if you're confident in the training, then I feel like you know when enough is enough as far as the studying's been done. So then it's like, let me take my mind elsewhere now and then when I do have some time. And then the read, like you said, the reading is a little different. Where at least with some of the stuff I'm reading, it does bring me back to the fight a lot more. So it's not such a like escapism thing. It's more like just reading things that remind me of fighting, whether it's about this specific fight or just like mental stuff for fighting.
So you like to read like a mindset book or something around. It's like a mental game, something like this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, Joey. So many thanks for the conversation. I think that your bout will be one of the most interesting fights in the season, and I think that this will end like before the final bell. And I think that with your style, it's like obvious that with a win you will get a contract.
Yeah, no, I agree.